After defeating Lance Palmer last night at RAF 5, Arman Tsarukyan called out Michael Chandler to a wrestling match next.
I see Michael Chandler is calling out somebody. He was running out from the UFC. Maybe here he's not gonna be a little girl like always, and he's gonna take wrestle with me because his background, he's a wrestler. I'm not a wrestler, you know. I'm just a MMA fighter. Yeah, I wrestle a lot, but still, maybe here he has a little bit chance to win me, but in UFC, zero chances.
Michael Chandler responded to Arman in an interview with The Schmo. He said, "Let me just say one thing about Arman Tsarukyan. One thing that I really respect about Arman is even when he's not fighting in the UFC, he's staying active, doing grappling matches, doing wrestling matches. So that's one thing I will say about him. He's staying active. With that being said, I would absolutely smash Arman Tsarukyan in a wrestling match after watching him tonight. I will say he did look really good, really impressive, but Lance Palmer didn't look as good as he should have tonight. With that being said, Arman, I will smash you in the RAF wrestling ring, but I got my sights set on something later this summer. I think we all know." Arman responded to Chandler via X. He reposted that interview. He wrote, "Good joke. I didn't know Mike is comedian too." Michael Bisping thinks the UFC will book Paddy Pimblett versus Dan Hooker if Paddy ends up losing to Justin Gaethje at UFC 324. If you missed it, Paddy and Dan got into a heated back and forth this week. Paddy made some comments about Dan in an interview with MMA Guru, saying Dan couldn't grapple a rapist off his mom. Dan fired back and brought up Paddy's friend Ricky, who died by suicide back in 2022.
If Paddy beats Justin, none of this matters because they ain't gonna fight. But if he loses, I think we might see this fight happen pretty quickly because remember, 1 week after UFC 324, I'll be there. The week after, I'll be there as well in Sydney, Australia. UFC 325 is happening. Dan Hooker's going up against Benoit Saint-Denis. And if Dan Hooker wins, if Dan Hooker loses, it doesn't matter. If Paddy Pimblett loses, that's going to be the next fight. Simple as that. And right now, Paddy Pimblett is not making any friends in the lightweight division. And you know what? It doesn't matter because guess what? None of these are his mates. Whether he's a good mate or he's a bad mate, none of that matters. You're here for yourself. It's me, myself, and Irene. For you, your family, your loved ones. You're trying to build a better life. None of these people that you're going to step foot in an octagon with are your friends. None of them give a about you. So yeah, it is all fair in love and war. And yeah, you don't talk about families, and you certainly don't talk about mothers, and you certainly don't make fun of people that have passed away, right? All that leave it off the table. Talk about them. Talk about their looks. Talk about their fights. Talk about the way they dress. Whatever you want to do, just leave all that out of it. But I will say this, it does make it spicy. It does give people like me something to talk about, and it certainly makes the matchmaking interesting going forward.
Daniel Cormier reveals he brought his jiu-jitsu coach to ALF Reality and didn't even need him there.
In my limited understanding of what the show is, envisioned an ultimate fighter. Who's gonna be the better coach? So I start putting my staff together. I get my boxing coach, I get my kickboxing coach, I get my jiu-jitsu coach. We're gonna go to Thailand and beat John Jones's team in a mixed martial arts competition. Figuring out when I got there that it's not an MMA competition, it's actually boxing with MMA gloves. So now I got a jiu-jitsu coach that's there and he doesn't necessarily have the ability to teach.
Waldo Cortes-Acosta is set to face Derek Lewis at UFC 324, marking his 6th fight in the past 12 months. In an interview with Homa Fight, he says he also plans to compete 6 times in 2026.
After January 24th, sounds like we got 6 fights in 12 months.
Yeah.
Well, what about in 2026? Do you want to try for 5 fights, or you're good with the 6 in 12 months?
No, I want to try for the whole year 2026. I want to make a 6 fight.
6 fights in 2026.
Yeah, 6 fight. Yeah.
So that means after Derek Lewis, you're going to need to fight again in like another month or 2, yeah?
Yeah, other month too. Before they go to Dominican Republic.
Well, when are you going to the Dominican Republic?
I try to go the end of the March in April.
So you
I'll be training anywhere there. I play basketball. It gave me like a good stamina and everything. My dad is there. They pushing me like a running, everything. It's very conditioning too there.
How long are you going to be there for?
Like almost a month.
Okay. So you need to get 2 fights in before the end of March, basically.
Yeah.
Arman Tsarukyan says the UFC told him he was too dangerous to be placed on the first Paramount card.
But do you feel like you're not getting the opportunity that you truly deserve? Of course, I already supposed to fight in June versus Ile Tapure and fought Oliveira. And then I was a backup. I made them my weight. I was a backup. I was ready. And then I supposed to fight for the title. And then they said, no, you gotta do one more fight. I said, okay, no problem. Give me anybody. They gave me Hooker. I went there, just maul him and beat him so easy, choke him out. And then I supposed to fight for the title.
Yeah.
And then they said, yeah, you're too dangerous to push you on the first card on the Paramount because headbutt, pull out, beat fan. That's why they said you gotta wait. And I said, okay, what I can do?
Yeah.
I'll just wait, and I know my belt is not gonna it's gonna be mine.
Merab Dvalishvili has Michael Bisping try some Georgian food.
Mike, do you ever try this? Try the cheese and bread. It's like Hachapuri, my house. Yeah, what's it called? Hachapuri. Hachapuri. I love it. Yeah. No, I had it. Yeah, sure. Good. Oh, good? Oh my God. Amazing. Good. Great. Merab, this is amazing. It's amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Look at you. Hachapuri. This is delicious. Good.
Colby Covington has responded to Dana White agreeing that it's strange that Colby is still ranked in the welterweight division. At the moment, Colby is ranked 14th.
One thing that, I gotta be honest, bugs me about the rankings a little bit specifically, I saw this tweeted yesterday and it really just accentuated it for me and how crazy it is. In the latest rankings update, Colby Covington was moved down just one slot in the welterweight rankings. The guy's fought once in the last 752 days and lost. His last win was March of 2022. How does a guy like that stay in the top 15 for years after not fighting?
It's a great point.
Do you have those conversations about the rankings where it's
Great point.
why is this guy, like Jeff Neal was moved one spot above him? Strange, no?
Yes.
After defeating Luke Rockhold at RAF 5 last night, Colby responded saying it really doesn't matter what Dana White thinks of me. I'm a world champion. I'm Donald Trump's favorite fighter. I'm America's champion. I'm the king of Miami. You can never take those titles away from me. Take me out of the rankings, whatever. I'm still the biggest draw at welterweight. It makes no difference what number is next to my name. I know what I'm capable of, and I know I'm still the best fighter and wrestler on planet Earth. Colby Covington also discussed potentially moving up to the middleweight division.
We actually spoke a little bit earlier, and you said you really wanted to test out how you would match up strength-wise against Luke to maybe potentially test yourself in the UFC at middleweight. Do you feel like you accomplished that with the way you performed and how you met strength with strength?
Yeah, absolutely. I felt good at this weight class. I know I'll do good at 185. I have unlimited endurance, so at middleweight I'll have a lot more endurance and feel better. So, I felt stronger than him tonight, and I know he weighs probably 20, 30 pounds more than me, so you might see me in my next fight, maybe in the White House at middleweight.
And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos.
Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from Frankie Cal. It's in reference to the footage of the MMA guru attempting to take down Arman Tsarukyan. It says Guru's faceplant single leg attack is a thing of beauty. The second one's from Peter Griffin. It says Luke and Colby roasting Bo together was not on my 2026 watch list. And the final one says props to Guru for being willing to embarrass himself like that.
Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.